Up next, Tim Krekel.
Welcome to Cumberland Country. I'm CJ Cumberland. For the next hour, I'll be your guide to the best local and regional country and bluegrass music around. So ease back, relax, and leave the rest to Crescent Hill Radio. Oh, yes, everyone. That's a sweet, sweet sound. I'm CJ Cumberland. This is Cumberland Country right here on WCHQ 100.9 FM, and I'm back. It's good to be back. I took a little sabbatical there, did a little traveling, and it's good to be back here in Louisville, though, and it's good to be back on Crescent Hill Radio. Tonight, we've got a great show lined up for you, as always. I hope you think so, too. Mr. Tyler Warden is live in the studio. Tyler?
Hey, how's it going, CJ?
Good. How are you?
Doing fantastic. It's good to be back on Crescent Hill.
Absolutely. It's good to see you, brother.
Good to see you, too.
So we're going to jump right into it here because we're going to try to get as many live songs here as possible. So I'm going to do a little background information on you. You're living in Louisville. Are you from Louisville originally?
Yes. Well, from Brooks, Kentucky, Bullitt County.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like I was born in a hospital in Louisville, I guess, if that counts.
Right.
But, I mean, you know, back and forth between Bullitt County and Louisville, it's like a 15-minute difference. So I guess you could say, yeah, Louisville.
Good deal. So what was it like growing up in Brooks, Kentucky?
Well, there aren't as many buildings as there is in Louisville. It's it's a lot more. It's a very humble place to live, and you end up running into the same 3,000 people all the time.
Right.
So I mean, I guess it's a close knit community full of very loose marbled people.
Okay, that's very interesting. We'll have to get into that next time. So your dad is a fairly well known musician around town, David Warden. Is that how you got into music, got the bug through your dad?
Oh, that's definitely how it happened. I remember back whenever it was the late 90s, the first time I remember my dad having a guitar was a classical guitar.
Right.
And, you know, I didn't really understand the difference then, so I'm like, play AC/DC on that thing. He's like, I'll do what I can. It sounds more, you know, like Bach or something at the end. But yeah, he's definitely the number one influence, and I think that because of what he exposed me to musically, like through, you know, various classic rock stations and things like that, and him being a blues guy, a lot of that also opened up to where I'm not just listening to top 100 radio or anything like that. I think it's very important to make sure that you have somebody in your life that steers you in that direction.
Right. Now your dad plays with Wayne Young, correct?
Yes, he does. Wayne Young and the New Legends.
Did you ever hang out with your dad at gigs when you were little?
Well, it's funny you say that, because whenever I was little, he had taken a hiatus from playing music to, you know, raise children.
Right.
And around the time I was like 12 or 13 is whenever he got back into playing, and I always went to those gigs. It's one of the first times I remember being proud of my dad musically.
Right.
It was whenever he was at the, God rest their soul, Phoenix Hill Tavern, playing with one of the first bands he had gotten back in, and they did the Journey song Lights.
Right.
And when he came in and did the solo, I was like, okay, I have determined right now I am doing this for the rest of my life. I'm going to figure it out.
Well, let's talk about that. When did you first pick up a guitar?
Around the time I was around 11 years old is when I got a first cheapo guitar, because I really enjoyed my dad playing. I wanted to know how to do it. You know, I wanted to just see if I could do it. And I had already been like writing poetry. I mean, as far as 11-year-old's mind can grasp poetry.
Sure.
And so it kind of was one of those things where it's like I showed an interest in it. I was able to pick it up. My dad showed me a few things. My grandpa, who was actually a drummer, showed me the first chords I really learned how to play. And from there, I kind of took it on my own and kept allowing the different influences that I had between my mom's real country music fan, and my dad was always, you know, blues and rock and stuff. And being able to have those things together, I was always finding new things to try to learn how to play or try to figure out. And so to shorten up this long answer to your question, 11 years old would be whenever I started.
All right. Do you remember writing your first song?
I sure do. And it was... let's just say I'm glad it's not on recording anywhere.
Right.
It was, I mean, I don't know, it was a pretty valiant first attempt, I think. But the way I learned how to write songs, the way I taught myself, I guess, how to write songs, it kind of like, it was one of those things where back then I didn't know how any of it worked. So really, I was just like, well, let's see what happens if I do a little, just a little one-string riff, and then from there I was like, well, maybe that's kind of a melody, and then from that I put words on top of it, and that's how I ended up with my first song.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I remember the first song I've written. It. By the way, rule for people: the best paper to write songs on are college-ruled.
Oh yeah.
Text. Yes. Don't give me that wide-ruled stuff, and if there's no lines, get it out of my face.
All right. Well, good to know. Good to know. Well, speaking of songs and songwriting, you're going to play some live songs for us tonight. Let's kick it off. What are you going to start with?
I'm going to start with this. Hopefully by the end of the year, you mentioned earlier on the ride home that hopefully I'm going to have this album out, this new record I've got recorded before the end of the year. And the first song I came to Brian Cronin at Goldsmith Studios with was a song called An Eternity in a Day. And I was like, this song makes me want to make another record.
Right.
And so it's the first one we started working on, and I guess it'll be the first one I play for you.
All right.
All right. Calling out, it's all that I can think about. I don't know how to float alone, and if you leave me, I might drown. But I would walk on water if it led me to you somehow. Saving me, but there's a place I gotta be. Help me out, we'll change the world. You stick around, I'll paint the scene. And I could wait forever, 'cause I'm pretty good at waiting. Don't be afraid to give it all to me, 'cause I could give you an eternity and a day. Hey, hey. Yeah. The moon can take the setting sun, the words I meant can come out wrong. And you don't have to say a thing, but I will sing a million songs. And I can't see myself without your loving, so I hold on. Eternity and a day. Hey, hey. Don't be afraid to give it all to me, 'cause I could give you an eternity and a day. Hey, hey. I feel your love, it's calling out. It's all that I can think about. Don't know how to float alone, and if you leave me, I might drown. But I would walk on water if it led me to you somehow.
Tyler Warden live on Cumberland Country. I'm digging it, man.
Well, thank you very much.
You know what I was thinking of, and we're going to get into the recording of your new album a little bit later, but recently Teddy Abrams, the conductor of the Louisville Orchestra, had this project called Sing for the City. Are you familiar with that?
I am familiar with it. I actually missed the boat on the chance to do that.
I was getting ready to say, I think some of your music is really tailor-made for orchestration. You know, I could hear, some orchestration behind that song even.
Well,
have you ever thought about that?
I mean, I would love to have the opportunity. The way it sounds on the record's a little bit different, just the solo acoustic version. Right. But in terms of being able to have Teddy, I mean, that would have been fantastic. Right. And I really did miss a solid opportunity.
Well, maybe next year. Maybe they'll do it again.
Well, I hope they do.
Yeah.
And I'll be the first in line.
Absolutely. All right. I want to talk about your influences, but before I do that, what did you, and you're young, how old are you?
I am 23 years old.
So, a lot of the guests I have are, a little older than that, and I always ask this question, but I'm going to ask you it also. What did you listen to growing up?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I had a lot of exposure to the, there was always a country station or classic rock station on. And growing up, I was listening to all those things. I mean, I guess you'd call them standards at this point for those particular genres of music.
Right.
Classic rock music. I mean, one of the first two I remember listening to almost all the time were the Beatles and Elton John.
Right.
And then the Stones, I was able, at the local library, I saw that they had the Rolling Stones 40 Licks 2-disc greatest hit CD.
Right.
Must have listened to that thing about 8,000 times before I returned to the library. I may have stole it. Can I say that on the radio? I don't know. And then as far as country music goes, my mom's favorite dude, no matter what, is Randy Travis.
Right.
Actually, the first concert I ever went to was Randy Travis. That was pretty interesting. Yeah. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. So those are the things I really listened to growing up. That, and then my mamaw got me into Elvis Presley. Now, the first musician I think I listened to all the time was Elvis Presley. Right. I really dug his stuff. I mean, my mamaw even had a cassette tape that was a bootleg concert that her sister-in-law recorded. Elvis. Oh yeah, I'm really an underground Elvis fan.
I got you. So you do some cover music also.
I do.
You cover Elton John or Elvis or anything like that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, any of them that, before I was really writing music all the time, I had to fill my time with something.
Right.
So, I learned how to play quite a few of their songs, and over time, people enjoy listening to those things.
Right.
So, I guess it seems obvious to learn those kind of things. And, I'd say I couldn't give you an exact statistic, but I know I've learned quite a few of the different tunes.
Okay, so we're talking about what you listened to, growing up. Who influenced you as a songwriter and performer?
As far as songwriting goes, there are just worlds of influence, and my number one influence can change at the drop of a dime. As far as the way I started, when I first started writing songs that I thought were actual decent compositions, Lennon and McCartney, until the end of days, they are my favorite songwriting team, and then Bernie Taupin and Elton John, of course, and the way they focus on the way the melody fits over, or the lyrics fit into their melodies, the melodic structure of Beatles songs are really what draws me in, and which is the flip side of that coin is when you listen to a Dylan or a Leonard Cohen, where really the lyrical content is where the influence comes from there. And so there are so many different things that kind of mold together into this melting pot of craziness that is my brain.
Right.
And through all that, over the 10 plus years I've been writing songs now, there's always something new.
Right.
There's always something new that comes along, and as far as when I first started writing music, I got to give all the credit to Lennon and McCartney.
Right. And you know what? And I've known you for quite a while. We kind of go back a little ways, and I've always been impressed with your songwriting. And I don't say that about everybody. In fact, I don't know if you remember. I'm like, your dad being a musician? I'm like, did you write these songs?
Yeah, I remember that. Kind of like your parents helping you out with your science experiment.
Right. Yeah. But you're kind of wise beyond your years in your songwriting, I think. And
I got to be wise somewhere in my life.
I'm a little jealous.
Well,
Well, maybe at the end of the show, if we have time, we'll do a cover.
You've got it.
All right, so let's play another one of your songs right now. Play us another one off the new album if you don't mind.
Oh, I would love to. This next song I'm going to play for you guys is one that is definitely dumbed down, and once the record comes out, you'll see exactly what I mean. This song's called "This Summer," and I hope you guys enjoy it.
All right.
Something's burning, I think it's me. Well, help me dance the night away. Well, something's turning, well, out to be another semi-sunny day. We go up, up, up to the mountaintop, well, just to watch it fall. This summer is the best summer of all. Well, someone's breathing a bit too close for comfort, but that's okay. And someone's haunting me like a ghost. Why won't this just pass away? We go down, down, down under the desert sky, well, just to watch it fall. This summer is the best summer of all. Low, I slow down. Low, maybe I was wrong to hang on, to hang on. Ooh. Well, something's burning, I think it's me. Well, help me dance the night away. Well, something's turning, well, out to be another semi-sunny day. We go up, up, up to the mountaintop, well, just to watch it fall. Well, this summer is the best summer of all. Lord, Lord, this summer is the best summer of all.
All right. There we go.
Thanks.
And the crowd goes wild. Tyler Warden live on Cumberland Country on WCHQ 100.9 FM. Glad you're tuned in. You know, your music seems to me is very marketable.
Well, that's good, I think.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely good.
Thank you.
I was worried that maybe you were one of those guys like, you know, who were too hip to be, you know, popular, and you might get upset.
All those guys can be as hipstery as they want while I hang out with all my friends and count my money.
Absolutely. But you know, I'm the way I think. You know, I'm the video for that song. You know, I'm looking at it, and that could be one of those summer fun songs that the kids listen to. You know?
I'd love for like a certain red branded soda. I can't necessarily name drop. That'd be nice. Nice to get a little bit of that money.
Absolutely.
Can we say getting Coke money on air? I don't think
Coke money.
Getting Coke money.
As long as it's Coca-Cola.
Yeah, that's all right.
Absolutely.
Well, of course, that's what I mean.
So I want to talk about your writing. I've already mentioned that I think you're a very, very good writer, especially for your age. I mean, I think you're writing better songs than a lot of people, 2-3 times your age. Do you have a writing process? Do you sit down and say, I'm going to write a song?
Well, it's a very tricky question to answer because I can't say I have I do have a process, and the process is I'll come up with a song around the time when I'm ready to lose my mind. And then it'll be like 5 songs. So there'll be this weird process where I'll go through and hate the way I'm currently writing songs. Like, man, I can't stand the sight of my guitar. I need to put it down, and I'm going to sit and write lyrics and a melody first, or something like that. And it changes every time. I always end up coming back to what works. But the process really is try everything, and then once one of those things is putting out songs, run with that for as long as you can until the cow runs dry, and you can't milk it anymore.
Absolutely.
And that's really how it goes. And as far as I think it's important to be able to go, I'm going to dedicate time to this.
Right.
And if you have time to dedicate at least an hour out of every day to doing it, that's great. But I really believe also, as far as having a process goes, it should be very loose. You should do it whenever you know you're going to be able to do it and not kick yourself the entire time for it. Because there are times where G, D, E minor, and C are garbage candy cutter 4-part chord pop songs, and then there are times where you find that thing about them. You find the new thing within those parameters that comes up with something that, even though you've got 800 songs that are that chord progression, you found the new thing within those chords that creates a totally new song, and that's where I go, okay, this is one I need to dedicate more time to.
Right.
And that's how they get churned out.
All right. What influences you to sit down and write a song? I mean, women, sunrises.
Women influence me to do a lot of things, and I can't really say much more about that. I mean, a lot of songs are about girls, and and if it's not directly a message to a girl, it's all. They invoke quite a few emotions, and I'm sure it works both ways. I know it does. There are plenty of great female songwriters that write about boys.
Right.
I think, and so writing about people is a lot easier to do whenever you have those I think I love this person kind of thing, or they did me wrong in some way.
Right.
So writing about girls is really the easiest way to do it. I mean, sometimes whenever you're feeling emotions otherwise, it's easy to do it. I say easy. I mean natural. It flows better to do it that way. But you... So, as far as that goes, I mean, I'll just shorten it up real quick. Most of my songs definitely are about something that happened between me and another person in life, or just something I was going through, like that song "This Summer." That song is if you listen to the lyrical content, it's a very ironic song,
right?
Because it's talking about all these not so great things, but then at the end of it saying, "Well, this is the best summer of all." So last summer, I had gone through a breakup, and I was getting over having a broken ankle, and all this really awful stuff was going on. And I remember I didn't even start with the guitar on that. I started just with words. I was like, I'm just going to sit here and write out just this sarcastic kind of view upon things that are going on right now. And a lot of that a good portion of it had to do with the girl.
Right.
I say it quite frequently whenever people ask me. My quote is, "There are only a handful of girls worth a love song, but there are millions worth a sad song."
Gotcha.
And so at that point there's plenty of source material.
Right. Have you ever written a song specifically for a girl and presented it to her, and how did that go?
Yes, a few times. Very recently.
I want to hear the train wreck story. Do you have a train wreck story?
Wreck? Okay. Well, it's not necessarily a negative train wreck. I see you looking at me right now. It's not necessarily a negative train wreck, but on my first record, the song "January," the unnamed girl, for her own protection, I guess. Yeah. I remember I wrote the song, and I was like, "This might be the best song I've written up to date," which I'm pretty sure it was. And I played it for her over the phone, and she cried for 3 hours and stuff. And I was feeling pretty high and mighty about it. But the thing that made it a train wreck was her other love interest had written a song about her a week prior, and it was campy and not great, and she did not react to it emotionally at all. So after all these people found out about how my song had affected her, what happened after that was it was now a matter of, well, why didn't you like this guy's song as much as this guy's song and stuff like that. And so I guess the train wreck aspect of it was there was chaos created out of the fact that two people had written a song and one of them had done better to the target audience than the other one, I guess.
I do like that song. Do you want to play it for us? I think that'd be a great segue.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, if you don't feel comfortable.
I'd love to play the song.
Yeah.
just so you know, it's not nearly as happy as this conversation has
Right.
been so far. All right, sure, I'll play it for you if you want.
All right, man,
All right,
let's
this
do
is
it.
off my first record. The song's called January. Keep screaming louder and I'll lose my voice, but I would never doubt or give you one last choice. By the grace of God that kept me in the air, believing that I'm not the one to feel despair. The door is closing, the day is gone, and I'll be losing you before long. But I'm not leaving before I break. Your closeness fades with every breath you take. In January, down on me, well, I swear to you I'm all that I can be. In January, say goodnight. You're keeping score, but it's a one-way fight. Of all that's broken and all that's dead, maybe one day were the words you said. In January, down on me, well, I swear to you I'm all that I can be. This menacing moment, it leaves me blind. I keep my movement, but I'm out of time. Your porcelain smile cracks and shatters away, remembering all of these things from yesterday. The door is closing, the day is gone, and I have lost you, so I guess I'm done. But I'm not leaving before I break. Your closeness fades, but it was my mistake. In January, down on me, well, I swear to you I'm all that I can be. In January, say goodnight. You're keeping score, but it's a one-way fight. Of all that's broken and all that's dead, maybe one day were the words you said. In January, down on me, well, I swear to you I'm all that I can be. Devotion means nothing. Well, no motion, no breathing. In January, down on me, well, I swear to you I'm all that I can be. In January, say goodnight. You're keeping score, but it's a one-way fight. Of all that's broken and all that's dead, and maybe one day were the words you said in January down on me. Well, I swear to you, I'm all that I can be.
All right, Tyler Warden live on Cumberland Country on WCHQ 100.9 FM. I want to encourage you to check out www.crescenthillradio.com. We are a not-for-profit radio station, and we depend on donations from people like you listening and businesses, and you can go to our website and find out how to help us promote local and regional music. We also have a Facebook page. It's facebook.com/CrescentHillRadio.com. Twitter is at WCHQFM, and Instagram, WCHQFM. So, Tyler, let's talk a little bit about your aspirations. Where do you want your music to take you?
I would like my music to be able to take me on the road. I'd like to be able to go across anywhere I can go, anywhere that I can drive to, fly to, walk to, wherever,
right.
And people come to listen to my music and want to be there because of that.
Right.
That's what I want. I don't need to be a millionaire. I don't need to be a platinum selling artist. I just want enough people to like my music to where I know that I can go anywhere I want, and there's going to be people there that are happy to see me.
All right, man. Do you have a bucket list gig? And by that, I mean like a venue or even another artist that you would like to play with?
I'll give you an example of both. A gig that I'd like to be able to reach that may or may not be something that could happen is I'd love to be able to play the Forecastle Festival.
Okay.
I'd love to be able to do that in whatever capacity I could. As far as an artist that I've always said I'd love to be able to go on the road with would be singer-songwriter David Gray.
Okay.
I really dig his stuff, and I think that he and I would be a good match. I think.
Right. You have a very strong voice. And are you trained? Did you take voice lessons?
North Bullitt High School in Bullitt County, I was in the choir program, and that's as much vocal training as I've gotten. And after that, I haven't really done anything. I still do vocal exercises, but as far as like, was I regularly trained?
Right.
An hour out of every school day.
Gotcha. So, I mentioned earlier that I feel like your music is very marketable. Have you considered the TV shows like The Voice, or of course American Idol's not around anymore?
I've been approached by plenty of people saying that they think I would do well on the shows and everything like that. And my thing about it is, even though yes, you get plenty of exposure and there's a chance that something could happen, and a chance something couldn't. I've always been one of those people that if I'm going to do this, I want to do this what I feel is like the traditional way.
Right.
I call it the right way,
sure.
But there's no real right way, I guess. But the way, I just want to be able to organically make it happen. And I'd really like to be able to do it off of my songs. And on those programs, usually it's like, well, if you're not going to sing a Gavin DeGraw song, we don't want you on the show.
Absolutely. That's a good answer, by the way. I approve that answer.
Well, that's good.
Okay, you're songwriting. You're a songwriter, but you're a performer too. How would you feel if an artist, maybe a major artist, heard one of your songs and wanted to record it?
Hit me up anytime you want.
All right.
That's how I feel about that.
All right, man. Well, let's, we want to try to get at least 2 or 3 more of your original songs before the show's over. Let's play another one. What are you going to play for us?
All right, let's see here. All right, this is one that I have not done acoustic yet, so this is the first time this is going to be heard outside of my house as an acoustic song. It's another song off the new record. It's called Fall Back Black and Blue.
All right.
Born in the country, dreamt of the city, where I could play music and drink the night. Caught in a circle, don't know what hit me, but I cannot get my timing right. Well, if I can't get inside, I'll count my stars till we collide. Fall back, I'm black and blue. Fall back, I'm black and blue. Follow my arrow, still couldn't find it, where I could play music and be the man. Well, into the limelight, standing behind it. When will I get to the promised land? Stuck beneath the summer sky, I'll count my stars and close my eyes. Fall back, I'm black and blue. 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 Ooh. Well, if I can't get inside, I'll count my stars till we collide. Stuck beneath the summer sky, I'll count my stars. Well, I'll count my stars. Well, fall back, I'm black and blue. Fall back, I'm black and blue. Fall back, I'm black and blue.
Tyler Warden live on Cumberland Country on WCHQ 100.9 FM, and I'm digging it, man.
Well, thank you.
Let's talk for a second about your live show. What's a live Tyler Warden show like?
Have you ever watched an Andy Warhol movie? No, I'm kidding. Well, it depends. When I'm by myself, it's kind of just like it is right now. I talk and make a fool of myself and then play music to make me not look so bad.
Right.
As far as full band shows go, I recently just got together a new group of folks. We are Tyler Warden and the Midlife Crisis. And we are actually playing this Saturday at the New Vintage, August 13th. The show starts at 8 o'clock. It's for my good friend Ben Helm's EP release show. Please show up and show your support. It'd be great.
Who's in your band?
My band currently consists of course, myself on guitars and vocals. My dad is the lead guitar player.
Right.
A guy that we're in a couple other bands with, his name's Tom Rump. He is our bassist.
Okay.
We've got Brian Cronin taking up the drums.
All right.
Also, I've got my good friend Candace Ferguson, who she's got a fantastic voice, and she's doing some singing also for the band. And then we've got a couple other players that might come in from time to time, but that's basically the core unit of the band.
Good deal. All right. Like I said, I wanna make sure I get a few more songs in. So let's go ahead and play another one. What are you gonna play for us?
All right. I'll play you one that's kind of short and sweet. This is actually my producer Brian, who's also in the band and all that good stuff. Right. Our mutual friend. This is his favorite song I've ever written.
All right.
That he's heard. It's called "The Faded Horse." It's also on the forthcoming record.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, in your heart there's a hole, there's a spot reserved for something you know that I'm not. Well, I'll ride this one out on my own. Well, I know that you're not coming home. Well, in my room there's a bed where we laid. Home of the last bits of love that we made. And so much for what could have been. Hell, you look so happy with him. Well, I could be fine when the morning comes. Well, or I could sleep in for days. Looks like I'm the faded horse, no good for riding away. In my head there's a word to be spoke. Though sometimes on my words I do choke. So when it's all said and done, well, I'll just have to swallow my tongue. Well, I could be fine when the morning comes, well, or I could sleep in for days. Looks like I'm the faded horse, no good for riding away. Well, I could be fine when the morning comes, well, or I could sleep in for days. Looks like I'm the faded horse, no good for riding away. Well, I'm no good for riding away.
Once again, Tyler Warden live on Cumberland Country on WCHQ 100.9 FM, Crescent Hill Radio. A sweet, sweet song there.
Thank you very much.
As you mentioned before, we do have a mutual friend in Mr. Brian Cronin. He's the proprietor of Goldsmith Studios, but he's also your producer.
Yep, and one of my good friends.
Let's talk about the recording of the album. First of all, do you have a title for your album yet?
The record will be called Simple Machines.
Simple Machines.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about the recording of Simple Machines.
Well, it started off with me just going into Goldsmith Studios because I wanted to record some demos to, of new stuff to try to, see about helping the land towards gigs and stuff like that. And Brian and I hit it off really well. And after we got done with just me doing live recordings in the recording room, I told him I got interested in making a record. And from then I went in with songs, and we, we would cut the rough guitar and a scratch vocal to it, and we'd talk about what things we think would be good, the directions for the songs, and from there we would build accordingly.
Right.
And a lot of the stuff Brian and I did most of the instrumentation on, but we brought in a lot of really cool players. On bass on some of the tunes, Dave Neal from Small Time Napoleon is on them. Ray Rizzo, who, I could name all the things he does, but he played some drums on there. Also, Tim, the drummer for the Villbillies, he's on some of the songs, and of course my dad, and through all that time, it was definitely a different experience from the first record. The first record, it was a lot more laid back and not so much. I felt very professional, a lot more professional setting with Goldsmith, although it's very homey. it's still like it was more like the work was being done with a lot of purpose, and I needed it. It was very refreshing for me, and but yeah, the record. I mean, it was fun. There was a lot of stuff I learned. I learned a lot about engineering and producing that I didn't know anything about before, and since it was my second time around, I knew what to kind of expect going into the studio with working with click tracks and things like that.
Right.
So everything moved very smoothly, and it was a really fun experience.
How did you like the click track?
The click tracks are the devil. My manager Justin in there, his favorite click track is whenever it's a cowbell. He loves it.
Explain to our listeners who might not know what a click track is used for in recording.
Okay, so in the recording process, in order to keep things mathematically correct, you play everything to a click track, and that is electronic, digital, on point, gives you the beat. So if you're in 4/4 and it's so many beats for measure, you're going to hear over and over again.
Right.
Over and over again in your headphones, and that's basically to give you a better sense of timing for how you want to lay things in, because the way recording works is, say something is messed up, you have a better idea of why it doesn't sound right. And it's a timing thing, and even though they are a pain in the backside, they are definitely one of the more necessary tools to use.
I agree, but they can be mind-numbing.
Yeah, they hurt your brain after a while.
All right. Well, now, you played Brian's favorite song off the new album. And I'm going to request a song off the other album, the first album.
Mm-hmm. Can I guess what it is?
Yeah.
Is it the hardest part?
Yes.
All right.
You knew that.
Well,
my favorite song.
In our many various talks, CJ, it seems to come up every time. All right. Yeah, this song's called The Hardest Part. Last night I felt you drifting away. Well, just like the way things were before you said you'd be with me. Well, it's hard to pretend that my heart didn't break again. It's hard to say you aren't my lover, this girl's just my friend. Then I'll be here till the end. Then I'll pick you up again. I'll always be the same old me, but I think you need to know the hardest part of loving you is letting you go. And now I'm sure you don't understand just how I'm still standing here playing the same hand. One day at a time I can keep myself in line. Maybe things will work someday, but baby I'll be fine. Then I'll be here till the end. Then I'll pick you up again. I'll always be the same old me, but I think you need to know the hardest part of loving you is letting you go. And I won't say it doesn't hurt, 'cause I know exactly what it's worth. And I won't say it doesn't hurt, 'cause I know exactly what it's worth. But I'll be here till the end. Then I'll pick you up again. I'll always be the same old me, but I think you need to know the hardest part of loving you is letting you go. Then I'll be here till the end. Then I'll pick you up again. I'll always be the same old me, but I think you need to know The hardest part of loving you was letting you go.
All right, Tyler Warden live on Cumberland Country, WCHQ 100.9 FM. Thank you.
Thank you.
I dig that song.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you dig it.
Yeah, man. Let's jump back to the recording process real quick. And do you come into the studio with a litany of songs and then you kind of call those down into an album?
For this record, it was definitely like that. My first record, I knew pretty much what songs I wanted to be on there.
Right.
But this one, it was my back catalog of songs is I've got a lot of them, so it was a lot of going through them. And this time around, Brian and my manager Justin both had a lot of input onto like the song "Fall Back Black and Blue" I just played for you guys. That song wouldn't have been on the record if it hadn't been for Justin saying that he liked the song and we put it on there. So yeah, I'd say that we narrowed it down. There's 12 songs on the record, and I'd say we narrowed it down from at least 20 that I brought in.
Right. All right. Real quick, let's talk about where my listeners can find out more about you. Do you have a website? Or?
Well, currently we're working on restructuring the website, but for right now, you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. I have a personal page as well as the Tyler Warden artist page. Sorry, I got Pepsi lungs going on right now. No offense, though, Coca-Cola. Still,
you just ruined your Coke endorsement.
Take my song. It's all that was available. Where was I? So yeah, you can find the Tyler Warden artist page, and I do live streaming videos and stuff like that to keep people updated and maybe just play some songs and stuff on there from time to time. I've got a Twitter account. It's TS Warden. Same thing for my Instagram.
Right. So the new album is yet to be released. Can you still get the your first album?
Right now, it is. We are waiting because whenever we drop the second album, we're going to offer a package to where you can get both records. So we're going to wait to reaccess it. But you can find the first record on my SoundCloud, the Tyler Warden Artist SoundCloud page.
All right. Mention your gigs you have coming up again.
Well, for anybody that's interested in the cover songs, I'm going to be playing out in Shepherdsville tomorrow from 6 to 9 at a Mexican restaurant that I love very much. It's called El Tarasco. It's out in the Shepherdsville area in the shopping center. If you're from there, you know what I'm talking about. And then Saturday, August 13th, pretty big show. Ben Helm and the Gel Wells, it's their EP release show, and he's given me the great honor of being able to headline that show with Tyler Warden and the Midlife Crisis. That show starts at 8. It is 21 and over. I'm not entirely sure I'm not entirely sure what they're charging at the door, but I'm sure it's going to be very reasonable for hours of good music.
Well, I may try to make that when I'm playing the St. Joe's picnic from 5 to 5:45, but I should be able to make it out there.
Well, heck, as long as I got stuff, as long as there's free time, I might stop by and see you, CJ.
There you go, man. So let's end the show. Let's try to squeeze 2 in. Let's do one off one of yours, and then we'll close out with a cover.
Sounds perfect. All right. Let's see here. This is one that is definitely going to be interesting to hear me do it acoustic personally, because this is a full band, almost like rock song on the record. It's called The Next Big Thing.
All right.
But take another stranger for a ride down your dirty road of silver lies. Tell him you'll be true, then don't. When you say I love you, you won't. We'll find another soul to throw away. Well, I've run out of reasons to stay. Well, tell him he's the voice you hear, then deafen out what's loud and clear. Facing the sun all on my own, see you moving right alone, and I can't even write song. Find another soul, throw away. We'll make it so we share your consequence. Well, I've been walking sideways ever since. I promise that you won't deceive. Then I turn and watch you leave. Facing the sun all on my own, see you moving right along. And I can't even write a song. Facing the sun all on my own, see you moving right along. And I can't even write a song. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh. Tell him you'll be true, then don't. When you say I love you, you won't. You won't. Facing the sun all on my own, see you moving right along. And I can't even write a song. Facing the sun all on my own, see you moving right along. And I can't even write a song. Whoa, whoa.
Tyler Warden live on Cumberland Country. All right, we've got about 2.5 minutes, man. Let's hear a cover song.
Perfect. All right, this is going to be a song.
Thanks for being here, by the way.
Well, thanks for having me, CJ. It's been a great time, and I'm always happy to be a part of Crescent Hill Radio's
Good deal.
goings on. This song I'm going to play for you guys is one of my favorite songs ever. It's by originally done by a band called Big Star. Hopefully you guys have heard of them. The song's called 13. Won't you let me walk you home from school? Won't you let me meet you at the pool? And then Friday, if I can, get tickets for the dance. Well, I'll take you. Ooh, ooh. Won't you tell your dad to get off my back? Tell him what we said about painted black. Rock and roll is here to stay, so come inside where it's okay, and I'll shake you. Ooh, ooh. Won't Won't you tell me what you're thinking of? Would you be an outlaw for my love? If it's so, let me know. If it's no, well, I can go. I won't make you. Ooh.
All right, Tyler Warden live on Cumberland Country. We're out of time, folks. Thanks for tuning in to this show on WCHQ 100.9 FM. Tune in next week when we've got Devin Roberts live in the studio, and stay tuned at 8 o'clock for Hippy Head Spotlight.
Can't miss it.
You're listening to WCHQ LP, Louisville, Kentucky, 100.9 FM, Crescent Hill Radio. All local music all the time.
It's 93 degrees.
It's 7:32.
Here's one from 30 Spokes.
Eyes chained to your feet, silence on the retreat, ending back where you start. Weight of the world on your heart. Whoa, whoa. Point of view that you see, wearing your heart at your sleeve. Spend all that time on your knees.
don't have the time. They're working and they're fine. That's all I can say. Today is a good